I take 100 grand in OPEX out, it's equivalent to me adding 5.5 million top line sales. So ABC, that's given us insight into these actual costs, but it's enabled us to deliver valuable changes to the business. Put that pen down, Gary. To the business without impacting critical operations. I talked briefly about the transformation program in terms of the sales organisation, what we've gone through in the last 4 years, but latterly ABC it serves as a tool for us to drive fact-based organisational changes. Conversations with HR are far easier. They're less emotive. They're very fact-based. And it's delivered a true insight for us in terms of actually our key operational costs. And it serves as a measure for us to evaluate transformation initiatives post-implementation. So if I can take you sort of to the first example, ABC, staff balance coming in, they pretty much helped us to identify process improvements, behavioural changes, technology solutions, workload redistribution, and also that spilled over into a third party, into our outsourced strategic partners as well. If I can give you some examples of the outcomes. Salesforce optimization focused on increasing selling time. We shifted non-essential workload back into an admin team. So, I mean, arguably, I prefer to have without being disrespectful, a lower cost admin function carrying out non-essential roles if I can actually have a salesperson in front of customers longer during the week. And also, the increased use of technology, that has basically increased the time on territory. So we use VideoLink, and we also use teleconference, because we've got a nationally distributed sales team. And that's taken a significant amount of actually time out of people's working week. Most importantly, though, is that we can cost it. That's attributed to 124,000 in savings at an OPEX level for us. In terms of restructure and scale, we've identified existing low-value processes and we've effectively outsourced them. And we've also restructured the sales team, the sales support team, along 4 key work silos. What we had in place before that was a sales support team spread across a whole disparate amount of roles, and there was no clear role definition. And in fact, there was stuff that we could actually back off to some of our outsourced providers. So we're now structured along four silos. We've got an internal stakeholder liaison. We've got save and win back. And we've got market analysis and CRM administration, and we've got training and process mapping. And again, that's delivered an annualised net saving of 80,000. Talked about win back and retention. It wasn't something that we were actually doing on a formalised basis. As a result of putting this in place, it's phone-based. We now enjoy a cost to acquire or a cost to retain at 15% of our direct sales cost. So door-to-door, 15% is the phone-based is 15% of our direct sales cost, feet in the street as we call them. It's also enabled us to maximise the efficiency of the sales team. As I said earlier, it ensures higher paid bands, and this has not been sort of hierarchical, but if you've got an expensive resource, you need to get the best out of them. Arguably, a salesperson needs to spend most of his or her time in front of a customer, as opposed to chasing administrative issues. So customer queries and admin, we've backed off into the sales support team. But we've also put in place SLAs back out to the sales team to give them that level of assurance that queries that they do actually raise get ticketed and they get chased and managed and communicated and updated back. We also moved to a new CRM platform. We were actually asking the guys to report to PowerPoint and Excel, so that's taken a significant amount of time, and all of our reports now come off Salesforce. That's savings of 74,000. Deep insight for future decisions. I talked about this previously. This has given us insight in terms of actually making decisions when we're taking workload, when we have taken workload and decided to pass it out to one of our outsourced partners. Well, it gives us a point of negotiation. We've got a measure on what it's costing us to do it in-house. And arguably, in a couple of instances, we've had some tough negotiations where we've actually put the figure under our partner's nose and says it's cheaper for us to do it in-house. What's going on here? But we've been a couple of instances where we've moved work out to some of our outsourced partners on a cost-effective basis. Time in front of customers. When staff balance came in first, 1.1% of salespeople's time has been focused on new business. We've now got them focusing 23% of their time on new business. Primarily, as I said earlier, as a result of actually transfer. It's not all about ramming more time into the sales guys' working week. It's about actually taking unnecessary workload as well. So part of the actual, the enabler there was actually we took workload and backed it off into the sales support function. But we also track and trend this every single month. It is automated. It is not laborious as a piece of work. It is automated. Lastly then, and this is pretty much the next phase, I draw the line at sticking tags under people's skin, but that's what some of the account managers would say. But what do you do with this increased sort of selling time? Effectively, we're able to look at a correlation between travelling time and face time. This does form the basis for a coaching conversation, which is trying to get the account managers to be more savvy about their actual journey planning. So clearly, there's no point in someone driving north, south, east and west in terms of their territories, and that actually enables us to identify that's the most efficient area we need to be in, which is minimise travelling time, maximise face time. We draw that information from two systems, and it's automated through the staff balance system. So, in summary, ABC has given us true insight into core operational costs. We know who our most profitable channels for acquisition. We can assess and identify our most profitable customers. As I said earlier, third last point, discussion around resources with HR, they're less emotive, they're far more fact-based. And it's enabled us to manage outsourced partners more effectively. This doesn't lend itself well for popularity. The CEOs adopted this across the wider business. But if I was to leave you with one enduring point, it has to be actively managed. It has got to become part of the sort of the weekly, the monthly mantra, and it is easy to do. It is not a case of you spend as a manager or a head of function most of your working week getting this data together. Thanks very much for your attention. Hope we've just ran over by 5 minutes. I think we're happy to take Q&A, myself and Fiona, if anyone has any questions. Thanks.